We have our beautiful steak here. So we're gonna cook a Japanese Wagyu. This is the real thing. It costs about $92, and that's only approximately 0.8 of a pound. So that's not probably what, maybe like 12 ounces or. But this is super good eating. This is a great treat for Father's Day celebration or any special occasion that you have for your special someone. For a nicer presentation, you can always butterfly your lobster tail, and the way you do that is you make a cut into the shell like so with a sharp pair of kitchen shears. Gently spread it apart. You want to gently push away the meat from the shell. Do it very gently so you don't damage the lobster meat, but you can move the meat away from the shell like so. Gently push it. It moves away from the shell. All right. Then you lift up the meat carefully. And once you butterfly it, you want to lift the meat and put it on top and gently separate the meat. All right, there you have it. Lobster out of the shell. Just be gentle and do it slowly so you don't damage the meat. When you cook, it's very important to have your meat prepped. So this is called mise plat, which is prepared in place. Do is get the fire going. I've used some Jealous Devil charcoal. In the occasion when I cook seafood, I like to use mesquite. You guys have been watching my 300 videos online on YouTube, and you know that mesquite has not been my favorite wood. It has a kind of kerosene twang, but when you cook lobster, it really works on any kind of seafood. So I'm also going to do something that I don't usually do, which is put the wood on top. And I usually tell you guys to put the wood at the bottom for the reasons I explained in my videos. But in this case, we are going to leave the wood on top so that it'll catch flames, and then we will cook our lobster that way. And we want to get the lobster going. Get a little bit of oil on it. And I get a little bit of my chicken rub on it. The chicken rub works really, really well on seafood, and get some of the rub on it. Once you have a little bit of a fire going, and then you can move it off to the indirect zone. Give the mesquite a chance to smoke the lobster. We're heating up our cast iron pan. Lobster is smoking under some mesquite wood. I have a little bit of melted butter ready to go for the cook. When you put the lid back on to smoke your meats, always make sure that your vent is always opposite the end where the fire is. So I have my fire on my right. I'm going to put the vents so that the vents are facing the other way. It goes out that way so you can get a little bit of circulation to get the smoke over your meat. Right, the lobster looks ready. It's about 100 degrees. Get a little bit of butter on top. Looks beautiful. All right, let's see how hot our pan is. About 600 degrees. That's perfect for searing. We're going to sear the Wagyu. The idea behind Wagyu is you really want to let it come up to room temperature and about 72 degrees, and you want to sear just about a minute or two on each side to get it medium rare in the center. I learned this from the Japanese Wagyu Association. I was helping them with the translation when they came to America to demo the Wagyu meats. Look at how beautiful this thing is. Absolutely gorgeous marbling. I'm just going to use just a little bit of salt and pepper. Light touch, black pepper. We're going to set our timer here, about 600 degrees. And you don't really need any oil because it's so hot that the Wagyu will start to release the oil. About a minute on each side, probably enough since it's so thin and it's thawed. The salt on the other side, a little bit of pepper. A minute, we flip. Perfect char. Another minute, we'll take it off. Alright, minute is up. Take it off. Temp our lobster. You don't want to overcook it. About 130-ish is plenty for a lobster. It's getting there. Yep, Just a couple more minutes on the lobster and we're done. Let me turn it around so the other side also gets some heat. Let's prepare our vegetables. Oil. Let's make the Bearnaise sauce for the lobster. So I have butter that I warmed up. I want to get about 170-ish or so. I have a propeller blender here. I have some egg yolks. So we begin by squeezing a little bit of lemon juice in here. As much or as little as you want. I'm going 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. I have some shallots here, probably a 1 tablespoon, depending on whether you like oniony flavor in your Bearnaise sauce or not. I like tarragon, so I'm going to put a lot of tarragon. Tarragon is kind of like a licorice type of herb. I'm going to now puree it with the blender. I'm going to put a little bit of salt in it, use my rub. I did the Bearnaise sauce on the Food Network's Chopped Grill Master, and it's done literally in seconds. I have the very hot butter here. The key is to keep it around below 200 degrees. If not, you will end up cooking the eggs. So I'm going to puree with the blender like this. Stick blender. I'm going to give a puree. I'm going to add the oil, hot oil, and it's going to cook it right away. Wow, really good. I'm going to add just a little bit more acid, a little bit more lemon, a little bit more salt from the Selected Daddy Rub. Okay, all done. We have our Wagyu, have our lobster, we have some vegetables. Let me drizzle some of the Bearnaise sauce. So at long last, I get to sit down and enjoy my surf and turf, Wagyu steak and a lobster with Bearnaise sauce with a couple of grilled vegetables. Let's take a look at the steak, cut into it, nice and tender. And I only seared it for about a minute, so it should be just rare on the inside. Show you guys how it looks like. Use my hands. It's kind of hard to eat steak with your fork and knife. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous steak, super duper rare. And that's how the Kobe beef is supposed to be eaten. I wish you could be here tasting this. That Wagyu is famous for the oleic acid, and once your tongue hits the oleic acid, it sends a kind of a wave of flavor, of unctuousness to your brain, and your brain says, wow, that is a really good steak. I'm gonna take another piece here of the spinalis dosi that I ate first bite. Look at that. Absolutely medium rare, like butter tender with just amazing complex flavor. Wow. Just salt and pepper, cast iron pan, sear, 600 degrees. You have Wagyu heaven right here. And this is really something you want to eat on a special occasion. It's a $100 or $90 steak for barely 12-14 ounces. But, you know, it pays in terms of the quality, not so much the quantity. So Wagyu, out of this world. Just simply absolutely amazing. Let's move into the lobster with the Bearnaise sauce. I like this recipe because, and I cooked it on the Food Network, on the Chopped Grill Master. I was on the show. We went to New York. Shot the episode here. Beautiful medium rare. Kind of like not overdone. I don't like lobster overdone. This is cooked with mesquite wood. And I mentioned to you earlier that I only use mesquite when I cook lobster or seafood because I don't really care for the kerosene twang, even though I went to school in Texas and Lubbock, Texas. And I had a chance to cook with mesquite. Not my preferred wood, but posto, yeah, I love posto. All right, so here's the lobster, absolutely perfectly cooked. I'm gonna dip it in the Bearnaise sauce, which is a emulsified foam. So for those of you who are super nerdy people, I just did a foam sauce, and I emulsified it using butter melted to about 180 degrees. And you put that into the eggs with the tarragon, a little bit of citrus from the lemon, and shallots, and it basically becomes an emulsified sauce. So it's kind of like a French sauce, but done literally in seconds before your eyes. I did this on the show also. I think they really liked it. Okay, let me get a shot here. Wow. Just a hint of citrus, that creamy egg yolk sauce, and then the hint of tarragon. Tarragon has a kind of licoricey, lemony flavor, but really, really good. I have another bite here. So good, I wish you were here. Lobster, surf and turf. Can't beat that combination. And I don't care anywhere you are in the world, but that combination is fantastic. Look at that, how good that looks. Perfectly cooked. Just a hint of smoke, a little bit of kerosene twang. So mesquite is great if you use for seafood. It has that kind of what I used to fly airplanes, so it kind of has a 747 smell to it. So when you walk behind a jet airplane and you kind of get that jet exhaust, that's the kind of kerosene twang that mesquite gives out. It's kind of an acquired taste. Some people like it, some people don't. I only like it on seafood, but I wouldn't cook a brisket under mesquite wood. But I like to use post oak or pecan or wood or apple or hickory. So that is fantastic. I'm gonna try the vegetables here. Just some simple grilled vegetable with some butter, some rub. Oh, something special about green beans on the pit. Here's some mushrooms I grilled. This is kind of just a big mushroom that looks like a scallop. Tastes buttery. I'm gonna dip it in some of the Bearnaise sauce. Wow. Surf and turf heaven. Gotta eat your greens. So my grilled broccoli, a little bit of sauce on broccoli. Smoky, buttery, slight char. Really, really good. So now that I've tried my surf and turf, I'll cut a little piece of lobster, a little piece of Wagyu, $90 steak for Mr. Beans to see if he likes it. Hey, I have some Wagyu steak beans. We got some lobster, a little bit of green beans, a little bit of grilled mushrooms, and a bit of broccoli. Okay, so are you ready? Okay, go. Oh, he's eating the mushrooms. Checking out the mushrooms. Enjoying the Wagyu steak. $90 piece of meat here. Going back for the lobster now. We need some mushrooms. Don't need to touch the broccoli. He's not touching the broccoli. Eat your greens, okay? He's eating the mushrooms. I think he likes it because he has a consistency of meat. Oh, he's eating the... Oh, you're eating the broccoli. Good for you, Beans. Eat your vegetables. Thanks for joining me on my steak and lobster episode. It was really a lot of fun cooking the Wagyu steak from Japan together with the lobster with Bearnaise sauce. I want to wish you all your fathers out there a happy Father's Day. Being a father is not always the easiest job, but it's definitely really, really rewarding. I want to do a shout out for my Patreons who are helping me keep my channel going. And until the next video, we will see ya. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. I want to show you what oleic acid is because after cooking the Wagyu, I put the whole cast iron pan in the refrigerator. And you can see right here that the oil hasn't really coagulated. It's still liquid. Can you see that? So the cast iron pan is at 36 degrees, but the oil is still liquid. But if you see what I have here, this is beef tallow. And you can see this is beef fat. So compare this beef fat with this beef fat, you can see that the Wagyu is really, really special. Some of you have asked me, how come the Wagyu cow has fat that looks like that, that's unsaturated, but normal cows have saturated fat? The reason has to do with DNA and genetics. The Wagyu cow actually has a genetic mutation, creates a cow with superior marbling, and the fat that is produced by DNA mutation or anomaly is that you get a Wagyu steak that is super marbled. And this oleic acid here is liquid, so it's not saturated. So this pan is about 36 degrees, and you can see that it's not saturated. This one came from the same refrigerator, and you can see how hard the beef tallow is. So this is the difference for those of you who are super nerdy, who watch my channel for these kinds of bonus little tips that will help you whenever you are in a Jeopardy contest or at a cocktail party. You want to impress your friends as to why the Wagyu is so special. And now you know about the genetic anomaly.